1360 AM, Johnstown, Denver.
All right, guys, I need your help on this one. I want input. Input. Seeking understanding. My name is Howard Riell. The show is called Riell Truth. Here's an item from InfoWars. You help me make sense of it. Here we go. Many parents are split on how Black Panther's blackness should figure into their children's relationship to the character. So saith the New York Times. The failing but widely circulated newspaper claims Marvel's Black Panther, set to hit theaters this week, is dividing parents who are, quote, not of color on whether it's appropriate for their children to dress up as superhero T'Challa, a.k.a. the Black Panther. In an article initially titled, "Who's Allowed to Wear a Black Panther Mask?" the Times actually explored if white children wearing the fictional character's costume at worst, quote, could be perceived as an unwitting form of cultural appropriation, unquote. The article was later inexplicably retitled, "The Many Meanings of Black Panther's Mask," unquote. So, my friends, 877-254-7524, I am seeking wisdom. Because, you know, I'm from Brooklyn. And wisdom is just not that easy to come upon in Brooklyn. It seems to me like these parents are horses' asses. It seems to me like we're traveling in a very, very dangerous direction in America. We're balkanizing, we're splitting apart, we're fragmenting. Cultural appropriation, have you got your head screwed on right? Is this not insanity? Tell me, 877-254-7524, because I'm trying to figure this out. Tell me something. Members of my audience are largely Christians, right? Well, you know, Jesus was a Jew. So when you follow Jesus, are you guilty of cultural appropriation from the Jewish people? It's ludicrous, right? It's insanity. It's wacko. And it's 21st century America. This is how stupid we've gotten. This is how lost we are. I don't care who's in the White House. We're not going to come together as a nation as long as we keep looking for reasons to split people apart. If you like the Black Panther as a superhero, wear a Black Panther costume, whatever color you are. My God, how simple could this be? But you know, there are a lot of people out there who actually profit from racial division. Those are the parasites in our society. Those are the people we've got to squash under our heels. Get rid of them. So the rest of us can lead decent, normal lives and be friends with other people. My God, cultural appropriation. I don't know. It's Wednesday. It's Riell Truth. We'll be right back.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution.
American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while shopping. Children tend to stray or become lost. This poses an opportunity for a would-be abductor. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown. For residential or commercial window tinting, call 303-263-4228. Piccolo's Restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were requested by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's Restaurant in Denver. It's not only the best Italian and Mexican cooking, it's the people who care. Give them a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166.
Welcome back, my friends. Howard Riell Truth, and we're traveling backward in time. We're going back in time to January 20th, no, November 8th, 2016. Donald Trump has just been declared the winner of the presidential race. He is now the president-elect. Here's the vice president-elect, Mike Pence, introducing him. We're going back in time. Donald Trump just got voted into office. Go. That's because she was actually fighting to stay out of jail. That's true. It's true. She and her people who've stolen everything that's not nailed down. And my friend, that is what he has done over the course of the past year for this country. We're about to hit a break. That's why I'm interrupting. I thought you might enjoy a blast from the past. Before the wolves and the jackals and the hyenas set upon Donald Trump and his people, before the Democrats decided to try and prevent problems from being fixed in America, the Democrats opposed letting Americans keep more of their money. Before the Democrats opposed strengthening our military. Before the Democrats opposed securing our southern border. When you go back to video clips of Donald Trump 30 years ago, he's saying the same things then that he says now because he's ideologically consistent and honest. He was never a sleazebag politician. He says what he believes. And what better thing can you say about a president of the United States? We'll take a break, and we'll come back to 2018, right here on Riell Truth. My friends, we're returning from the past. It's no longer November 8th, 2016. Now it's February 14th, 2018. Back in the present. Susan Rice is one of the scummy hangers-on from the Obama administration. God knows what kind of sleazy garbage she's been up to. Here's Rush Limbaugh to lay it out for us. Go ahead, El Rushbo. Take it away.
No, there's a couple of things I want to get to here first. And to set it up, I want to go back to a soundbite from me on February 14th of 2017, almost a year ago. Almost 1 year ago. Now, what do we have today? We have the news that Susan Rice was frantically trying on Inauguration Day to create a paper trail to protect Obama in all of these incessant Trump investigations. And I have said from the get-go that all of this has been to protect Obama, not Hillary. Protecting Hillary and getting her elected, obviously no brainer. But the decision not to prosecute Hillary on her email server, the reason for that is so you don't have to prosecute Obama. Obama is lied to the American people about knowing she was using an illegal server. He said he didn't know. until he saw it in the news. But that's a lie because he was communicating with her on that server and he could see that her email address was not from the State Department network. So he knew. Anyway, 1 year ago, on this program, I offered up opinions, feelings about some of the stuff going on. At the time, 1 year ago, Michael Flynn was the big thing. And now we've got the news that on the day that Trump was inaugurated, Susan Rice was frantically creating a paper trail, an email paper trail and an examination paper trail timeline designed to protect Obama. And we find out from Byron York, the FBI didn't think Mike Flynn had done anything wrong. Do you know that Comey testified to Congress that he didn't think Mike Flynn had done anything wrong, didn't think he had lied, and yet that investigation was pursued, and now we've got this indictment from Mueller or a plea deal, and people say, if he didn't do it, then why did he settle? He said, because they were driving him bankrupt. Flynn was broke. He was worried about the effect this was having on his family. But we've got on the congressional record that James Comey of the FBI told members of Congress on a committee that Flynn had not lied to anybody. And it takes us back to the actual FBI interview of Flynn anyway. It wasn't set up as an interview. Flynn is the incoming National Security Advisor. That means there's frequent contact with the FBI and the CIA. And they called over to the White House and they wanted to come talk to Flynn. So it's okay, come on over. He thinks it's going to be a consultation. Instead, it turns out to be a full-fledged interview that he wasn't aware of. But Byron York and the Washington Examiner has a really, really great piece today on all of this. And I just want to kick it off with my comments on this from 1 year ago, almost to the day, to show you just how lame the media is and how little they've got. They're already asking, what did Trump know and when did he know it? And that's not the question. The question is, what did Barack Obama know and when did he know it and what has he engineered here? This all happened with Flynn back in December. Trump had not even been inaugurated yet. And it's still mysterious to me what really happened. Even if Flynn, as the incoming National Security Director, had called the Russian ambassador to talk about it, so what? That's not hard to imagine. That's not a big deal. It really isn't a big deal. Not a big deal. It'd be standard operating procedure. We're talking about the Russian ambassador here and the new administration reaching out, familiarizing themselves with various representatives of other countries. It wasn't just the Russians that Flynn was talking to, but the Russian ambassador, remember, was being surveilled. Standard operating procedure. Also, we wiretap foreign officials. This guy's phone call to Flynn, therefore, was heard. Flynn was unmasked. Susan Rice, hi. Flynn's unmasked and reported what he and Kislyak talked about. And bam, Flynn is destroyed. Byron York, Washington Examiner, FBI in March of 2017, then FBI Director James Comey briefed a number of Capitol Hill lawmakers on the Trump-Russia investigation. One topic of intense interest was the case of Michael Flynn, the Trump White House National Security Advisor, who resigned under pressure on February 13th, just after 24 days in the gig. In March, lawmakers wanted Comey to tell them what was up. And what they heard from Comey didn't match what they were hearing in the media. According to two sources familiar with the meetings, Comey told members of Congress that the FBI agents who interviewed Flynn did not believe that Flynn had lied to them, or that any inaccuracies in his answers were intentional. As a result, some of those in attendance came away with the impression, after hearing Comey, members of Congress, came away with the impression that Flynn would not be charged with a crime pertaining to the January 24th interview with the FBI. 9 months later, with Comey gone, Robert Mueller, special counsel in charge of the investigation, Flynn pleads guilty. to one count of making false statements to the FBI in that January 24th interview. So what happened? With Flynn awaiting sentencing, was recently delayed, by the way, until at least May. Some lawmakers are trying to figure out what happened between the time Comey told them that the FBI didn't believe Flynn lied and the time several months later when Flynn pleaded guilty to just that. None of these congressional investigators has an answer. They're baffled by this. They know they find the Flynn case troubling from start to finish. The questioning in that January 24th interview apparently revolved around Flynn-Kislyak phone conversation, but Flynn was not told he was in an investigation-type interview. The first thing to remember is that it appears Flynn did nothing wrong in having those conversations with the Russian ambassador. As the incoming national security advisor, it was entirely reasonable that he would be having such discussions. And as I pointed out, even the Washington Post reported more than a year ago the FBI examined the transcripts of those phone calls and found that Flynn did nothing illegal. It's not just Comey. The Washington Post reported Flynn did nothing illegal. So what happened here? Why did he end up pleading guilty to one count? Why has the sentencing been delayed until May? And according to Byron York, indeed, it appears the FBI did not think Flynn had done anything wrong in the calls. If you take the Flynn thing out of this, if Comey's assessment and transcripts of the phone call show that Flynn did nothing wrong, does this investigation ever really get going? And I don't think it does. Folks, we are living in the midst of one of the most gigantic political scandals of our lifetime. I got to take a break. Much more on the other side. I want to reiterate, we've got two different sources, and one of them official. James Comey, at the time, the director of the FBI, testifying on Capitol Hill to various congressional committees, that the FBI, in its January 24th interview with Michael Flynn, determined he did nothing wrong and did not lie. And Comey told members of Congress this under oath. The Washington Post got hold of transcripts of the phone call between the Russian ambassador, Kislyak, and Flynn, and they read the transcripts, and the Washington Post published, independently of Comey's testimony, that Flynn didn't say anything, didn't compromise national security, didn't lie about anything, did not press, did not say a word about lifting sanctions. That's been the undercurrent of this, that Flynn got on the phone with the Russians and promised them that once Trump was inaugurated, they'd get rid of Obama's sanctions. And they've lied about that, and they've put that out there, and there isn't any evidence of it. Flynn said he did not say that, and Comey backs it up, saying he didn't lie, and the Washington Post transcript investigation said that Flynn didn't do it. So yet, despite that, the guy has had his life destroyed. Despite that, the guy has been rendered practically bankrupt because of this special counsel investigation and pleaded guilty just to end it, apparently. And I am well-known radio raconteur Rush Limbaugh, and I've been doing this a long time, and I am telling you that we are in the midst of one of the biggest political scandals of our lifetimes here. Okay, so to stay with me, folks, I'm unpacking all of this and leading to a crescendo today that has been provided by Victor Davis Hanson. But first, back to Flynn. Why plead guilty when Comey had told Congress that he had not lied? And the Washington Post examines transcripts of a phone call between Kislyak, the lunching Soviet ambassador, and Flynn, and found that Flynn didn't break any laws and didn't give up any secrets, didn't do anything wrong, and they published that. Yet Flynn remains target one in Mueller's investigation, and indeed pleads guilty after a year because he's out of money. Supposedly, family is understandably shaken by all of this. Flynn's been nothing but a super patriot his whole life. If Michael Flynn has characteristics that the Washington establishment don't like, it's that he's a super patriot. And he was one of the first uniformed military personnel on board publicly at rallies with Donald Trump. He made himself an enemy. He was the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency during the Obama administration, the military's version of the CIA. He ran that. You won't find a more loyal, patriotic American than Michael Flynn, and this guy is the numero uno target at the outset of this investigation for supposedly giving up secrets or making promises to undo Obama sanctions on Russia in a phone call to the Russian ambassador. None of it happened. Well, there's another figure in this. And guess who it is? According to this great piece by Byron York, it's none other than Sally Yates, the disgraced former acting attorney general that Trump mistakenly didn't get rid of after he was inaugurated. She's an Obama holdover. She was the one who was working diligently in the Department of Justice to undermine Trump's travel bans. Well, it turns out she was fired for insubordination for failing to implement the directives of President Trump. Insubordination. But it was Sally Yates who advocated the theory that Michael Flynn had violated the Logan Act. Nobody has ever been charged under the Logan Act, and nobody has ever been prosecuted under the Logan Act. It's an obscure, long time ago law that she dredged up, and all she had to do was call a couple of buddies in the media and plant the seed. Yeah, he might have violated the Logan Act. That's all it took, and here comes a never-ending drive-by media narrative. Michael Flynn may have violated the Logan Act. This is something of great interest to the special counsel, Robert Mueller. And off they were. Off to the races they were. And because he had violated the Logan Act, Sally Yates was saying that Flynn might be subject to blackmail by the Russians.
So you see, my friends, we're about to hit another break. This is the Democrats lying, spinning, framing, slandering, and all the while doing absolutely nothing to make America great again. We'll be back. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power consumption goals are. Reach us
not saying, "This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me." The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution, States of America.
My friends, we're back. So let's talk more about this piece of garbage named Susan Rice. You know, we've known for a while she was a very, very shady individual from a shady administration, born of a shady party, the Democrat Party. So who knows what kind of unscrupulous crap she was up to. Here is the president's attorney, one of them at least, Jay Sekulow, talking about the unscrupulous Susan Rice. He's talking with Sean Hannity.
Jay Sekulow, why don't you explain this in more detail, exactly what you're saying?
So, Sean, here's the thing I think that's important for people to understand. So this will take place on January 5th, right? So they already had the first series of FISA warrants. Understand that 2 of the 5 signatures on the FISA warrant applications are at this meeting. So that includes James Comey and Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates. So they have this meeting on January 5th to brief the president on the Russia investigation. And the president, Susan Rice, in this email that she does 2.5 weeks after that event, says the president wanted to make sure the law was being followed, but also was concerned about what we should or should not share with the incoming administration. But remember this, on January 5th, they had this meeting with President Obama, James Comey, Sally Yates, my friend Biden, and Susan Rice. The very next day, James Comey flies up to New York, meets with Donald Trump, the president-elect, and reviews with him intelligence matters and briefs him on the Steele dossier. So, what Grassley and Graham have asked for, which makes sense, is why in the world would you literally, as the new president is being sworn in, and the inaugural festivities are well underway, when it's done after you're getting ready for the swearing in, why in the world would you do this memo in the last moment of the last day as your last act? And there's only one reason. You're covering for something that either somebody was at the meeting they were concerned with leak, I don't know, James Comey's leak, or somebody saw them at this meeting, or they were trying to cover their tracks. We don't know. I don't know. But it's just if you look at the way the facts lay out, including the fact that this memo comes the day after the FISA warrant was renewed by the FISA court. So this just raises a whole, I mean, I think what Grassley and Graham said is right. It's odd, and pretty much wrong. And it's odd and unusual. To me, it's just a CYA. That makes absolutely no sense. And she's doing this at the behest of Obama. Is this going to bring Obama into it? In other words, what did he know about the FISA? What did he know about all of this with the dossier, et cetera? Look what she said to me, part of it's redacted, of course, so we don't know all of it, but it says President Obama began the conversation by stressing his continued commitment to ensuring that every aspect of this issue is handled by the intelligence and law enforcement community, helped by the book. The president stressed that he's not asking about, initiating, or instructing anything from a law enforcement perspective, reiterated that a law enforcement team must proceed as it normally would by the book. And then the president said he wants to be sure that as we engage with the incoming team, we are mindful to ascertain if there is any reason that we cannot share information fully as relates to Russia. In other words, are we not going to tell the incoming administration information we have about Russia? That's what he's saying there. I mean, that's what she's saying that the President of the United States and President Obama said. That tells you a whole history. This is the incoming President of the United States. And he will have information from him. That's the President-elect. How do we get to the bottom of what it actually means? I mean, does this now open up an area of investigation into, other emails that were sent back and forth, text messages? Do we now have to wait about a year to get information from Susan Rice and others that might have been involved in? Well, Comey lied and really said that is not mentioned in this one. I don't know what family theater did not do. This is what I do know. The comments are there. Susan Rice is series of questions that they want to answer to. I think the day is February 22nd. They want a response in writing to these series of questions because, as Graham said, this is unusual to say the least, odd. And you know, and again, I think it's worth stressing, Sean, 2 of the 5 participants were people that signed off on the compromise, which isn't unusual in and of itself, considering that they were authorizing the name of Deputy Attorney General of the United States, but there they were. And they're in the open office in this meeting. And why is it that Susan Rice waited over 2 weeks to put this in writing, to memorialize this? So if you write, if it is a sentence to cover the tracks, I don't know exactly what the tracks are trying to cover up. If it's actually covered, there's oversight, that's the more than enough snippets. Let's like they are. I want to talk a little bit about the 2 memos that came out, the Nunes memo, then the Grassley-Brown memo, and the Grassley-Brown memo that was the unredacted version, which I thought was very, very revealing, because a moment ago, I won't bore the audience with giving the full history here, but James Comey and James Trump writing the exoneration of Hillary and the email server statement months before they interviewed her and 17 other key people. That to me is pretty unbelievable. I've never heard of an investigation working that way. This is after, of course, she pretty much spent her primary against Hillary was rigged. But, so she's spending money for her campaign through a law firm as the DNC that organization she was controlling the money from, meaning Hillary, through the same law firm. They pay for a Russian dossier for salacious information. And we even told in the Grassley-Brown memo that it's Russian government information, but put that aside. Right, so fair enough, you're going to pay for information. Nobody verified it. Reason GPS didn't verify it. The Clinton campaign didn't verify it. Nobody apparently verified it. But then it gets worse. Then the Grassley-Brown memo goes on to say that the bulk of evidence presented for the prior, the Pfizer warrant against Carter Page was the dossier. Nobody verified the dossier. Nobody found out the unverified dossier. By the way, even James Comey said to Donald Trump, this isn't unprecedented, this may be honest, but he said in January it was still unverified and salacious. Right, so that's 3 months earlier now. He's apparently part of the group presenting it to a Pfizer court to get a warrant. And the only thing we get is a footnote that says, maybe political, when everybody knew Clinton bought and paid for it. Well, I don't know, Nick Westminster was also requesting that, but his statement, the press account was also in the application of the warrant, and he said, I just take that off and fill back to it. So there's evidence verifying all the same evidence. I mean, it's the same, they're using the same information to verify the same information. So it's circular in nature. I mean, I think a lot of the judgment judge are looking to write about any of it. And when you look at what has taken place here, I think this is one of the questions asked, is I don't think there's any question that after the full document, there would have been no Pfizer warrant even sought. And that's according to, in the media memo, and that's according to what is going to be making the transcripts from the testimony from Rosenstein. Now, here's what's interesting. You have the third shipment of the Democrat response memo, which is going back to the Clinton and House Democrats to work with the FBI to get redacted the way to review of sources and methods. And Chip was very quick to say, don't do that. I think it was trying to kind of one step away or 2 step up, 2 step the president, and they tried to use the outstep them. So they send it back. We were hoping he would send it back, either not send it back, or send it back redacted. And I think what they did instead, which I think was the smarter and more appropriate, was here's exactly what they stand with the FBI and work it out.
My friends, what's happening is the Democrats are playing politics at the expense of America and the American people. All the false charges, all the obfuscation, all the lies coming from Democrats. So tell me something. If you're listening to my show, did you vote for the Democrats in the last election? Did you vote for Hillary? Are you planning on voting for Democrats again? Or is your IQ above 40? Think about that. And if you need to, ask someone to help you. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Cook, founder of the Green Earth.
Well, it had to happen. Colorado legalized marijuana. Most people thought the Green Earth was a marijuana. 1.5 blocks south of I-70. There are 83,000 cars a day passing in front of our new location on Kipling Street. Most of them thought we were a marijuana dispensary. So we changed the name of our retail store to New Genesis Health, but we kept the name of our green herb supplements. So when you come to our new location, look for our new name, New Genesis Health, or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372. And be sure to listen to the Healthy Nature Show with Linda Phillips every Tuesday at 1 p.m.
Now listen to the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 19 through 24.
It took me into 24-hour Walmart signature. No one anywhere is more noble, righteous, selfless, or courageous than our United States Armed Forces. These brave men and women and their families put the bill for our freedom every day, and the military care package to let them know that they are in our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts. This message is from the associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter on Highway 287 in Lafayette. They're on the air because they care.
All right, guys, welcome back. Howard Riell, Riell Truth. No one has yet called me to explain how we're moving towards cultural appropriation in this country, or whether or not it's okay for a white kid to wear a Black Panther suit, for Pete's sake. Anyway, I'm hoping by the end of the show someone will call and clue me in. Here is Tammy Bruce at David Horowitz's Restoration Weekend just a few months ago, about to say some very important things. Here we go.
Thank you for your patience. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to start and remind everyone, some of you may not know, actually, has it been 20 years ago now? And it's interesting how things kind of come full circle. I was working at a radio station where I had complained about sexual harassment and was fired. And did not work in my chosen field for 5 years. But when I was fired, there was only one person who stepped up to offer me another foundation from which to work and to write, and that was David Horowitz. And I think that through David's experience, he likes perhaps underdogs, and it was helpful psychologically, because otherwise you're lost. Also at that point, I'd also, through the Monica Lewinsky situation with Bill Clinton, had moved away from the left. So there was really very much an orphan politically. So I will always be grateful for that. That's the kind of individual David is. And you can tell when it comes to who the speakers are today and the people here in this conference, it is a consistent embracing of a variety of nonconformists. And that is what movements are made of, and that's how social change is made. I also wanted to mention something that came up earlier in the panel that I was on with people who have moved forward with second thoughts, if you will. Individuals who started out on the left and moved along. And many of the questions for the panel involved, how do we do more of that, right? How do we get more people from the left to move? I can't begin to tell you the most important thing is to continue to do what you do, is to offer a platform on which to land for people, right? Many of you, of course, you're here, you've made a tremendous commitment to the Freedom Center. But David was able to reach out to me because he had a platform then at the Center for the Study of Popular Culture. I'm on the board of the Independent Women's Forum. How many of you are familiar with that? Heather Higgins, great organization. And they too they just had their 25th anniversary. Much of this work, as many of you have experienced, like through the Obama years, is a long slog, isn't it? You do it all the time. You give your money, you come to the conferences, you work, and then it's difficult because you don't necessarily see change. But let me tell you, the change that happens, that changes people's lives, is quiet. It doesn't happen at a rally, it doesn't happen on the news. For me, it was an ability not just to be reacting against the hypocrisy of the left, but hearing arguments either by accident or on talk radio or at a party or at a dinner, but being curious about an interview you might hear on C-SPAN. The elements come together. And let me just remind you here, it is 2017. And after 8 years of Obama, the Democratic Party at this point is effectively defunct. This is the biggest annual gathering for David Horowitz's Freedom Center in its history. That tells you something. A lot of you know each other because you keep coming every year, but you've noticed a lot of new faces, haven't you? It was the same story for the Independent Women's Forum, the largest event they'd had in 25 years. People said, oh, Trump's going to be elected and everyone's then just going to go home and wait. No, it has generated even more interest because the president is a sign of something larger that has occurred. He is a representation of, really, it began with the Tea Party, which was also a framework not of something trying to manifest. It was a signal of something that had already occurred amongst stakeholders. These were individuals in 2009, homeowners and others, who had never before come out and realized something very wrong was happening. This is when the argument with Obamacare had just begun. And there was a recognition that unless they stood up, those original Tea Party rallies, how many of you identified as that and participated in that process? Yeah. This is it's not even the end result. It is still in the emergence of this major change. And of course, thank goodness, it's not like, while there is violence, certainly, we can ask Rand Paul about that and Steve Scalise about that and attempted mass assassinations. The left has always been violent. It's their nature. They cover it up. They try to keep it away from you. But eventually, as they begin to fail, which they also always do, they turn to violence. In our world now, fortunately, at least there's ways that we can try to contain that. But the fact is that this is the beginning of a movement. And when you look around, you're at this conference, understand that while the fight is not over, and the Democrats are trying to regenerate themselves, and the left is trying to regenerate itself, the fact is they too know that this is an existential fight. They also know that this now is do or die. And so what I want to tell you about, and just make sure I get this point across when I say that now is the time to strike. Now is the time to strike in that when you see a collapse of a movement, you see it first also in the turning on their supposed leaders. And I contend this is part of the fall of power wielders in Hollywood, those with the big money, that for some reason, as women have been arguing and dealing with sexual harassment and assault, it was always that you really shouldn't say anything, as having come from the left, that you couldn't say anything because the bigger threat was outside, that you just be quiet, stay focused. The bigger, I was told with Bill Clinton by feminist leaders that yes, he's a pig, but he's our pig.
He's a pig, but he's our pig. Feminists, Democrats, liberals. Yeah, he's a pig, but he's ours, so it's okay. That is the liberal hypocrisy that I have been beating the drum about for years. Crystallized and summarized quite nicely by Tammy Bruce. In fact, so nicely that when we come back from the commercial, we're going to listen to another 4 minutes of Tammy Bruce talking because she really knows where it's at. We'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll wrap things up here on Riell Truth. Where it's at?
Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Women, children, even older big athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com and now only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16.
He's been in the blocker by the drug problem is well done. We know our kids will be approached at drug. We want to applaud the youngsters that are going to use that straight. They know the drugs. They provide examples to their peers and that they can be. That's what the blocker plan will get at 366 Grand Street in Oakland. Serving our area since 1943, specializing in natural life AD and for
My friends, welcome back to Riell Truth. We have got a caller on the line. Caller, you there?
Hi, I'm going to make it as fast as I can because I know your time is short.
I appreciate that. What's your name?
Pardon me?
What's your name?
Myra, M-Y-R-A, Myra.
Okay, what can we do for you, Myra? What would you like to say?
They brought in Nazis in the 30s and especially the 40s, and we were told it was just the scientists. Oh no, it was much more. They put them in the schools, and the result is what we're seeing now, where they erased all of the brainwashed with evolution concepts and all of that, and they erased our historic foundations of our own country's history and all. Replacing it with liberal brainwashing, and that produced another version of Hitler's Youth, which we have now. And there's a prophecy that I was trying to find, couldn't find, where the children will rule, whether it's rule the parents, but the children will rule. And that's what we're seeing as they're rising up to dominate the direction of political movement. And so, the Lord wanted me to read something He's given me to write down for the 12th. And He just gives me certain words. I'll just give it as fast as I can. Splinter groups, and then another item, a society at odds equals a society at odds. And there were other things, but I'll let you go, and thank you for hearing me.
All right, thanks very much for calling, Myra. We've got 2 minutes left. Here's Tammy Bruce once again.
So there's, a different standard. The Kennedys, they're pigs, but, there are pigs. That was always the argument, that the other people, though,
And the Democrats know that these leaders have sucked. They've always sucked. They've always been leading the Democrats to a cliff. Thank God we're living in a time when we can see Democrats going over the cliff. Just like you cut cancer out of a body, we've got to cut liberal politics out of the American body politic. We've got to restore common sense, love of country. These are not things to roll your eyes over. We've got to help all of the American people. And when we're fragmenting the country along racial lines, which is where we came in today, then you're doing exactly the opposite of what this country so desperately needs. That's the politics of division. That's Democrat politics. That's what's been killing us. And hopefully that is what now is dying a slow and painful death. Be back tomorrow, my friends. Hasta luego.